guys, it's Dana and it's time to talk about money. And in this video, I wanted to talk about controlling impulse spending because I've been having a problem with that. Oh my God! Okay, so in this new post or current pandemic world, I used to talk about using cash. We used to use cash, right? We did our best to take out cash, use cash, because when you actually have money in your hand and there's an actual exchange at the store, you hand over cash and you get a product back. Like you actually feel, it's a lot of actuallys in that sentence, you actually feel the pain of giving away your money. Like they take your money and then give you a product. But when you spend using a debit card or you do online shopping, it doesn't quite feel the same. So it's very easy to click, or to just swipe a card and then you get to keep your card and you get the product. So you keep your card and you get the item, right? And online, you just click and the item arrives at your door. And now in this new world of, social distancing, all of us or most of us are ordering a lot more online, right? So my Amazon cart, I fully admit, has gotten out of hand lately. Instacart. So we are ordering groceries, having groceries delivered to the door. Everything can be delivered, everything now. And that's, better than going into the store. Actually, when I went into the store, there was hardly anything in the store. I went, where was I? I think we were clothing shopping and I was like, oh my gosh, they barely have anything in here. Like obviously their inventory is low because they were shut down for a while and they just don't have a lot of products. Anyway, so impulse spending is a problem whether you're in the store or online, but I fully believe that online, it's a lot easier to sit around and just click and order stuff that you hadn't planned. So the definition of impulse spending, impulse is unplanned, something that you hadn't, pre-planned to purchase. You just sort of all of a sudden decided to get it, and you just order it or buy it, on impulse, right? So before I talk about the actual strategies to stop yourself from impulse spending, I think it's important to think about the why. What is causing you to impulse spend in the first place? And usually I think it has to do with anxiety, unhappiness, boredom, and I think, with everything going on in the world, it's very easy for many of us to be having these feelings or emotions. And so when you're feeling, anxious or depressed, some of us just self-soothe through shopping. So you can substitute it something else. People who have problems with alcoholism, drugs, they might turn to that when they're feeling these emotions, but others might go to buying stuff, right? Also, other factors are at play here, such as your personality. Impulse buyers are usually more social or image conscious, status centered. So a lot of times maybe they might make purchases because they, had some kind of product connection. They saw their neighbor using something, such as me. I was talking in my previous video about seeing those spider nest swings all over my neighborhood. And then I feel like we've got to get one for the kids. And so, you might have product connections like that, right? So when you go to make a purchase, whether it's on your phone and you're clicking or you're in the store and you're swiping and it's an impulse buy, something you hadn't planned. I think that it's really important to stop and think about it, to think to yourself, what am I feeling right now? Am I feeling depressed, bored, anxious? I mean, what's the emotion that's going on and why are you just impulse buying this item? So one thing that I like to do, or I try to do, is when I have something that I want and I'm really wanting it bad, most of our shopping now is on Amazon. We were previously scammed when I bought something off of another website, so now I'm trying not to buy anything unless it's Amazon Prime. We don't have Prime, but I still, just check the box to make sure it's a Prime item. And so if it's on Amazon, I will put it into my cart and leave it there at least 24 hours. So I cannot immediately purchase it. I have to leave it in the cart for 24 hours to think about it, to make sure that it's not something that I am impulsing due to emotions. So that way, when I buy it, it's something I've had some time to think about, sleep on overnight, maybe discuss it with my with my husband. So, you know, that's a good strategy, I think, overall, to try to help yourself to be buying things that you don't want to be or shouldn't be buying or can't afford to be buying. If you start to analyze your emotions and feelings, hopefully you can identify what triggers you to shop or to impulse buy. Maybe it is out of loneliness if you're, you know, home by yourself, or if you're noticing that just after you have a fight with your partner, you suddenly want to go buy stuff. I mean, really try to think about what is the trigger that causes you to want to just go spend. Okay, and then next, I think it's really important if you're really struggling with this and you're noticing you're overspending, blowing your budget consistently. We all do it once in a while. We all impulse buy once in a while, and that's just normal. It's just the level of, you know, consistency. If it's something you continue to do, or if it's increasing in frequency, or you're, you know, spending more money than you even have, going into debt for it, then it might be time to give your debit card or whatever vehicle you have to buy things with over to your spouse or to a parent or somebody who knows you, loves you, cares about you. Then you can give them your card, or, you know, maybe even delete the apps that you're using to buy, delete your passwords so that you can't get in there if you have, you know, cards saved in there. Do what you have to do to actually stop yourself, that you just won't be able to make purchases for a while, at least until you ride the wave. You know, if you've lost your job recently or something's happening in your life, you've lost someone you love, you know, if you had a death in the family, it might be good to just give over your cards or your mechanisms for buying stuff to someone else until you can get through the worst of the emotions. That's probably the best thing to do, just to protect yourself, right? Remember, this is to protect yourself from overspending or going into debt, doing something that later on is going to really hurt you, because when you start to acquire debt, specifically, it takes a long time. It's kind of like weight gain, right? It doesn't take very long to gain weight, but it takes a long time to work it off. Same thing with debt. You can go into massive amounts of debt in a short amount of time, and it can take you years to get out. And so really you're hurting yourself in these cases. So, you know, do what you have to do to stop yourself from that if you're having trouble controlling your own impulses, okay? So in my case, because I said at the beginning of the video I was struggling with this, I really feel like it is anxiety because of the kids are all doing online school. It's definitely stress for me. The kids are doing online school. I'm still working full time, so juggling the kids' school plus my work, and then we're home all the time. So for me, I feel like it's been, you know, I'm turning to wanting to shop or buy things to self-soothe, because I feel like I am looking for ways to, I guess, make things better, to feel better, because it's been very stressful with managing all the things that we've been managing. And so I've identified that though, and so I have stopped, you know, trying to be very careful, like I said, doing the shopping cart trick, making sure I spend at least 24 to 48 hours before actually buying anything, to make sure it's something that we really need or want, or it's in our budget. We do have a certain amount in our budget every month for spending. That's actually $300 a month that we have in our budget to spend on just, I call it unbudgeted items. So things that we might want to buy miscellaneous on Amazon. So, but I can't go over that amount. It's in our budget. It's set in stone. And so, but I was having trouble sticking to it just because I think of the stress of the fall and, like I said, online school and work. So anyway, so I wish you the best of luck if this is something you're struggling with, working on. So my thoughts and prayers are with you guys, and hopefully everyone's doing good this fall and feeling well. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.